This episode of Nuff Said is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
The recording has started. Hello and welcome, cats and kittens, once again to Superconnectivity. I'm your host, Charlie the Professor Essa, with my contemplation beard going. And, of course, with me, as always, is the blue-eyed bomber of the Burger Pits.
Phil, me, and Perich.
Welcome, Philip. Welcome to the madness. So, real quick thing I want to mention now, I want to hype up this week's episode of Capes and Lunatics, where we will be having the roundtable discussion of the Snyder Cut. Bum, bum, bum! And, yes, I don't want to go into that because obviously we're going to go into there. I want to say that the most gripping thing about this is that we finally find out that a young John Johns came to Smallville as the last member of his species, trying to find a way to fit in, fell in love with Jonathan Kent, and they raised young Kal-El together, and it was a beautiful thing. And, you know, here's the thing, it's no wonder, spoilers for this if you haven't seen it yet, but it's no wonder he doesn't come up till the end, because, you know, they killed his baby. It's like, of course he doesn't trust Batman. It's like, you killed my son! My baby Clark, you killed him! How am I going to trust you, Clark?
Don't be ridiculous.
You don't like aliens. You're a xenophobe. You're an earthist.
He was trying to move in on Lois Lynx. He knew her boyfriend was dead.
Yeah, well, let's not even get into that one. But I don't know. But that, to me, that's the most beautiful thing about the Snyderverse is that revelation that Martha Kent was Martian Manhunter all along. And that is really, and it makes so much sense in the context of the Snyderverse.
You're thinking deep.
And
really? You think Snyder's that deep? Really?
I'm certain. Because there's nothing in the film to suggest that it's not always Martian Manhunter every time we see Martha. I mean, every time we see that other guy that he pretends to be, we're supposed to assume it's Martian Manhunter. You know, I'm sure he's got like a couple different identities he jumps into, just like most shapeshifters. They've got, oh yeah, this is, you know, when I need to be Raven Darkholme, I'm this. When I need to be Senator Kelly, I'm that. You know.
What if Snyder pulled the ultimate punk on us over the years, and Martian Manhunter was both Marthas?
Well, I mean,
why'd you say that name?
It's theoretically possible that because we don't know how long Martian Manhunter's been here. He may have been cultivating superhumans for centuries on this planet.
Martian, M-A-R, Martha, M-A-R.
He could have been Steve Trevor, too.
Oh.
We don't know.
Keeping an eye on all of them, yes.
You know, and quite frankly, that might be like that's like the secret cut of Wonder Woman 1984. He didn't take over this body. This was just the identity he was using in 1984 in Washington, D.C. And he realizes, oh, wow, I'm getting this thing. I should turn back to my Steve Trevor identity. But I did that to motivate Wonder Woman for a certain person. It also explains how suddenly this island where no man has ever been suddenly has a guy showing up. Uh-huh. It makes sense if Martian Manhunter has just been manipulating the Snyderverse all along, and it's a beautiful idea. Run with it, Zach. Run with it. You came up with you may have accidentally lucked into gold here, but I think there is a story here that is to be told. But sadly, the Snyderverse is dying. And what is killing the Snyderverse, Philip?
How do I answer that?
Well, okay. Aside from Zack Snyder, what is killing the Snyderverse? The Gunniverse, Phil!
Oh, yes. James Gunn, yes. Dropped the Suicide Squad trailer today.
Which does look great. And first I've got to talk about King Shark.
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, I mean, he's no Ron Funches, but he brings his own element to the character. You know? That's the thing, and that's really the thing. Is like they're going with a different direction with King Shark. This is more of an I Am Groot King Shark kind of character, you know. But but I'm okay with that. Because King Shark has had a lot of different interpretations, a lot of different ways that they've presented him, from the Flash television series, from the very successful Ron Funches version. By the way, I love the fact that Ron Funches, both in Powerless, was a water breather, and in Harley Quinn was a water breather. So that is just a great connection between the two. Ron Funches really should be our next Aqualad, or at least Aquaman. Because, I don't know. Anyway. They kind of got playing Aquaman. He seems very cyborgy. He seems like the kind of guy that says "booyah" a lot.
Who, Momoa?
Yeah, Jason Momoa. Yeah, are you gonna tell me when he's going, "My man"? You're gonna tell me that if he had said "booyah," that would not have been out of character for that version of Aquaman.
Nah.
And I kind of feel like maybe that's why he didn't want Cyborg to say "booyah." It's like, no, that's clearly something Aquaman would say. I can't have two guys going "booyah" in the same film.
Yeah.
That would be ridiculous.
I mean, I'm going on record. I don't like him as Aquaman. It just hit me. I mean, this might be controversial, but you know who Marvel should cast him as?
Who, Jason Momoa?
Yeah.
Who?
Johnny Blaze. He strikes me as a biker.
I can see that, but he'd have to shave. I don't think Johnny Blaze would have a beard like that.
Maybe. I don't know. I was going to say maybe shorten the hair, but I mean, keep it in.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you're doing firework. You don't want to have a lot of extraneous hair. That's the thing.
Well, he loses all the hair and skin on his head anyway. It's like...
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, if you're a daredevil like that, you don't want to have all that. If you're jumping through flaming hoops, you don't want all the hair. That is just stuntman 101. You know.
I'm sure if they back the money truck up, he might shave.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I guess he could do that. I mean, there's lots of roles he could do.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, he might be. Again, he'd probably have to shave, but I think he'd be a great Hyperion. He could be. He might be. There's a lot of things he could do. I don't doubt there's a lot of things he could do in the Marvel universe. He'd be a fantastic Willie Lumpkin. They're doing a Fantastic Four reboot. You're going to need a Willie Lumpkin.
Yeah, but Willie Lumpkin's usually smaller.
Well, it's a reimagining, man. Flag Smasher used to be a dude, so you know what?
Oh, it's one of your favorite characters. What if they made Momoa Ben Grimm?
I could see that. You know,
I mean, I could see the voice. I mean, he's gonna be CGI half the time anyway.
I need to hear him say what a revolt in development, but yeah, what a revolt in development. I could absolutely see Momoa as Ben Grimm. Ben Grimm, he would be a fantastic Ben Grimm. So yeah, I'll give you that right there. Again, I guess Ben Grimm could have facial hair before he goes through it all. Yeah. See, I just don't see Ben Grimm being the pretty boy with the long hair. I see him as the crew cut kind of guy. You can have like the great Van Dyke if he needs to, but I think
he'll make him like the disgruntled pilot or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, be a grittier version of Ben Grimm. But yeah, I can see it. Be less gritty than the one they gave us. So, yeah, I was just reading my Facebook memories recently, and just and my love of Batman v Superman. 3 out of 5 glowing green rocks from the stars. For everyone who says I'm a big DC hater, it's like, actually, I really am not. I love all these films, but I do call a shelter half an entrenching tool when I see one. But yeah. So I'd love to see Jason. Jason Momoa. Here's what I'll say: Jason Momoa probably can do more than people let him. Oh. And if nothing else, that's like really where Marvel kind of does their best work, is when they make people do more than people normally let them do. Mm-hmm. That's why they do bring in so many comedians to do drama, because they know that comedy is all about timing and movies are all about timing. Whereas Zack Snyder just says, if we slow it down, the timing will work. Anyway, but let's talk Falcon Winter Soldier here for a minute. Well, no, actually, no, I wanted to talk about the James Gunn, the Gunniverse.
Yes. Because
you did see what the big problem with having this be in the same universe as Snyder Cut Justice League.
What?
The Starros.
Oh, yeah.
They were using mechanized Starro drones. Again, because, it doesn't care about comics. Although, I'm going to say this, but in 2 minutes I'm going to praise the Red Wing drone at Marvel. So, but,
I just watched the trailer real quick, but they were mechanized?
No. In Zack Snyder. They're mechanized. When they put those little blue things that go onto people's heads to read their minds, those are apparently Darkseid's Starro drones. So they're I don't think they ever called them Starros, so maybe you have that out. But this one, we get classic old school Starro. We get Gaiju Starro in this, which is just beautiful. We get a line that I feel I wrote years ago, but I know I didn't. But just, where the guy says, hey, if this beach was littered with a certain word of a thing, and I was told to eat all of them for freedom, I would do that. And then some other character who I don't know who she is says, why would a supervillain put those things all over the beach? So I don't know, supervillains are weird. But I actually had written something kind of similarly to that in a film I wrote once where these two people were having this weird conversation about who they would have sex with if, okay, so the supervillain says you either have to have sex with me or the other person. Who do you choose? Kind of thing. He's like, well, why is the supervillain making me decide? He's like, I don't know. They're supervillains. They make us decide weird things. So that to me right there spoke to me, which is why I think I'm going to really love the Gunniverse. Because for what it's worth, the Gunniverse I think is going to fit in nicely with the Shazamiverse. And I think they're going to slide in the Wonder Woman-verse right into that, too. Because,
yeah, but after
they all have a love of things that are a little bit out there.
After this movie, he's not coming back, is he? Because I thought he was going back to Disney.
But he's laid the seeds.
Yeah, true.
They can get other people to build on what he's done,
Well, yeah,
Jon Favreau doesn't write every Marvel movie, but he started it.
Yeah, because Peacemaker's already getting an HBO Max series.
Exactly.
The guy with the toilet seat on his head.
Hey, you know what? If it works, it works. Whatever you need to do. I'm looking forward to it. It had a very good. It has a really good trailer, and so I think Suicide Squad is going to be really another good film in the Disney canon.
Oh yeah.
And I think they're going to be able to cobble together a really nice universe from this canon, And they're going to be going in and out of the canon all the time, but that's okay. Comic books do that too. That's the thing about Marvel and the MCU is everyone goes because yes, it is all connected, but it doesn't have to be as connected as, well, that, it can't be the Darkhold because it looked like this the last time. It's no, it just looks different this time. And we're not going to focus too deeply on what we said the first time.
It's a magic book. It can look whatever the hell way it wants.
Well, no, but you do that with comic books all the time, where it's there's this thing that, the last time we faced Mephisto, he did this. Yep. And then the next time we face Mephisto, we're going to say that happened, but we're going to add this other level to it. And I think that's where we're going to get interesting in Falcon and Winter Soldier with its relationship to at least the Netflix series. Because we do have the Power Broker presented as our big bad in this.
Oh, yeah. I got the name drop Power Broker. Yep.
Yeah. Power Broker's Men, which is kind of cool because it's also that's actually a person but also an organization. And they actually name dropped Power Broker the first episode in the credits. So, eagle-eyed viewers know. Good thing I have 20/20 vision. Which is actually not the best vision. It's just really good vision. like 2021, 2022 is actually better vision than 2020, and some people do have 2022 vision.
Oh, speaking of that, did you see that article? I just saw it a couple hours ago. They're saying, if you look at the credits for the last episode of WandaVision, Paul Bettany, original Vision was he's credited as Vision, but White Vision is credited as the Vision.
Ooh, yes, and there is a completely unfounded rumor that they've greenlit the Vision series. So
I wouldn't be surprised.
But it was from. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, but it's also from one of those sites that's like, yeah, we got all the great ideas, and it's one of those things where they say obvious things and then say a bunch of crazy stuff. And so remember when we said that? Basically, it's like if you say enough things. Like any broken clock, you will be right twice a day.
If it's we got this covered, they're fake. And
for what it's worth, I do think I'm vindicated in my original theory that they're merging the Demolition Duffy John Walker characters in this.
Maybe.
Well, because we do see that he is a Cap super fan. I mean, everything about him was very earnest.
I mean, unless he's just saying that though too.
Except he's saying it when he's not in character and costume. He's not saying that to other people. He's saying it to Lamar. He's saying it to this girl that he apparently dated in high school. He's at the Custer Grove High School, and having the big thing. And he's very open about his identity. So, 3 medals of honor sounds weird. I think that he's won 3 congressional medals of honor.
Well, they said he's the only person, I guess, in history who's done that.
I don't think anyone has won 2. Maybe there is someone that has 2. Maybe
they're really putting that point on.
He does. I don't know.
They're really putting that point on it. They're like, man, he got 3.
Yeah, but that kind of sounds like one of those weird things where, they say, "Oh, this person has beaten every MPP, or when they want to say they're a great hacker, they say, "Oh, he's beaten every MPP org." And someone actually says, "You realize to actually do that, how much physical time that would take, unless you're hacking it?" It's
he's rocking some augmented strength. He is.
Well, we don't. That's another interesting question.
Did you see that footage of him whipping that shield around? You're not whipping that shield around unless you got some kind of augmented strength.
Well, but he also so that's the question. And it does look like both Lamar and he are augmented.
Like they were in the comics, yeah.
Like they were in the comics. Although I suppose there is a question of are they going to pull Michael Van Patrick on him? Where no, he actually is just a natural super soldier. That, he was raised on this farm, only eats organic and all that kind of stuff. And that's why he's MVP, But
I guarantee you it's going to come to light that he got his powers from the power broker, whether he knew it or not, and he's going to get kicked out. I don't know if it's going to be part of a government conspiracy or not, but somehow that's going to get him kicked out.
Well, and I wonder if there's going to be the power broker angle with this, where the people that get the powers kind of have a dependency to the power broker.
Maybe.
And maybe that's going to be a thing where it's like if he doesn't get his, which they kind of did in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with their version of the Patriot, Jeffrey Mace, where he had to take the serum to have the powers.
Or unless maybe they even has, maybe depending how he gives, the power broker gives strength, maybe there's some kind of mental domination in there.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. I don't think he's being mentally dominated yet.
Not yet.
But I get the feeling that there's going to be this thing where he is going to. I actually think that I think they're going to have a redemptive arc for John Walker. I think it's going to be about him being the by the book guy, but then he and Falcon and Bucky are all going to work together. And the same with Lamar Hoskins. I think that they've presented them all in really positive ways here. Mm-hmm. That make you think that, these are not meant to be the xenophobic, MAGA hat wearing John Walker kind of character.
I mean,
this is going to be.
So you mean team up of Captain America, Battlestar, Falcon, and the White Panther?
It's White Wolf, actually. Man, but they I hope that's not the last we've seen of Red Wing.
Yeah, I mean, it can be rebuilt.
Well, I hope so. I didn't see them pick up the pieces.
Well, you don't want to rebuild that one. They were tracking him through that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, does he know how to rebuild his own Red Wing?
I don't know.
Well, that's the question. That's the question.
There's probably blueprints somewhere.
Well, yeah, but it's...
Was that a Stark thing? You could probably go to Pepper. It's probably like playing the Stark database somewhere.
Yeah. We'll see. And we'll see what kind of nanotech it actually had. Maybe it fixed itself.
They were busy. They were busy. They had to walk 20 miles to the airport. Then they had to go to Maryland to meet Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah. And that's a revelation. But you know what is the most interesting revelation about that?
What?
Well, they did not do like they did in the comics where they had him be an invalid and, suffering from...
And wasn't he from World War II? In this one, he met Bucky in Korea.
Well, that's only a few years after World War II.
Yeah, but
it's entirely possible he was created in World War II, and they dropped him back in Korea.
Maybe, yeah.
That but what was interesting about this is he is clearly still a super soldier.
Oh yeah, he whips that thing through the wall. Yeah,
yeah, which means that Steve, who is also now old, is still a super soldier.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, even though he's 106, he's probably still alive somewhere. Again, no funeral, no body.
Yeah. No, he's up on the moon. It's
all they say is like Steve is gone. No one has ever said the dead word. Nothing yet. I think they're just keeping it vague, hoping Chris Evans comes back at some point.
Well, exactly. And what it is they're just like they put him in a spot where he's obviously hard to reach, which is why the whole moon thing actually makes so much sense.
Oh yeah.
Because really, they could have had a whole thing with him calling Steve to talk this out. He's not suggesting that Steve is busy doing something else. That, if nothing else...
Secret Avengers.
If not, or maybe he just went back to... He's like, no, I'm going back in time again. I'm going to go do other things now. I'm going to be the time-hopping Captain America. I'm going to be old man Cap forever. It's, it's a good gig if you can get it, quite frankly.
That's what I said. I wanted him like quantum leaping through time.
Yes, well, because that's the thing. It's like maybe we'll see him in Loki. It is. I mean, I really like Falcon Winter Soldier. I think it gives and again, it's this kind of thing where it's like you kind of get annoyed at people saying about how like light and popcorn Marvel stuff is. It's like, have you seen people dealing with grief? Have you seen people dealing with, boat loans and, the difficulties of just the logistics of life? And, it's sort of, the idea that, I mean, I've never seen anybody in the DC universe deal with grief.
I was going to say, you want to get real? Okay. All right. I'm probably going to anger some people here, but I'm just getting sick of people like saying, "Oh, it's the Snyder Cut is like perfection," and Marvel you said, Marvel stuff is popcorn, and it's like like the Snyderverse is nice and pretty, but all they do is like kid stuff. It's like like you said, they get in the this is the second series where they get into grief and loss,
and that's the thing, and like yes, we can understand that Batman's sad. He is sad, Fleck. We know. Because his mommy and daddy are dead. And that makes him sad. And that is fair. But we never see him deal with his grief.
No.
We never see Wonder Woman deal with her grief. That's like what is missing from Wonder Woman 1984 is her arc with Etta. And that life they had after World War II, or after World War I, or into World War II. We don't get how people dealt with things because they didn't want to take away from that one love that they lost. It's like, I get that it was her love and that she lost him, but maybe she had a life outside of it. Maybe her entire life hasn't been just in one stage of depressive grief for the last 100 years.
Charlie, Snyder didn't have time to do that. He only had 4 hours.
Maybe he should have had less characters.
Exactly.
Here's what I'll say. He should have focused on the love story between John Johns and John Kent. and then leapt forward to the death of Superman, establishing why Martian Manhunter has an issue with Batman.
And again, I mean, they don't have to be Marvel, but why don't you give all of them or most of them solo movies before you get to the big Justice League movie?
Well, or even just,
or Batman and Superman.
Or just not have so many people. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like Wonder Woman had a film. I mean, she had her film after the first film, but okay, well, I'll allow it. Superman definitely had his first film. Batman's first film is a team-up film, but that in and of itself isn't a problem.
We've had so many.
But when you get to, okay, now let's add Aquaman, Flash, and Martian Manhunter.
Cyborg.
And Cyborg. Yeah, I forgot about him. Let's add 4 more characters who are central to the plot and try to work them into this. Because that's the thing. You can always explain why someone's not there. Yeah. You can always explain. Like I said, I kind of feel that, the Lanterns, because we established them in the first shot, maybe they should have been here for the second scene, but, okay, there's a choice, and maybe there's a reason.
Well, that's the thing. I like a lot of classic versions of the Justice League. Like, it's 7 of them, the big 7's usually, all of them, and, Martian Manhunter and a Green Lantern, or,
Yeah, but isn't that usually...
But again, in the comics, when you do that, though, Superman has his own books, Batman has his own books, Wonder Woman has her own book, Flash has his own book, Aquaman has his own book, yeah.
And here's what I'll say. You can have add-on characters like Clint Barton, but Clint Barton doesn't do much. No one's sitting there saying, why didn't they call Clint Barton? It's but even you get actually some backstory on before then as, he is a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
Yeah, we get...
Natasha Romanoff, you got Iron Man 2 to be her movie,
mm-hmm.
Everybody got built and everybody had an establishment so you knew why they were there. But if they just introduced 2 top-drawer S.H.I.E.L.D. agents to be Avengers, no one would have complained. If that was the first time we met Melinda May and Phil Coulson as S.H.I.E.L.D. members...
Yeah.
No one would be like, we don't even know who these people are. Although, obviously, we had already met Phil Coulson. But if they had just introduced Melinda May in Avengers, but they make her an Avenger, no one's going to be upset about Melinda because, she is just a BA karate girl.
And it makes sense for S.H.I.E.L.D. agents because we got Nick Fury at the end of the first Iron Man movie.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So... it is what it is, but like I said, we're going to talk all this. We're going to talk Snyderverse tomorrow. We don't want to allow it to attack.
But just don't come at me and say, the Marvel's not that deep. I mean, come on.
No, well, anyone who says Marvel's not deep they don't follow Marvel.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I love Martin Scorsese, it is a genre style of film, like cowboy movies.
Mm-hmm.
But to say that, there's no good cowboy movies is kind of like, there's a lot of good cowboy movies, and there's a lot of really popcorn cowboy movies,
Yeah.
It's a genre you do them. It's like gangster movies.
Okay.
There's some really lame gangster movies, and there's some really good gangster movies. There's good war movies. There's, it's...
Yeah. I heard one of Kevin Smith's podcasts, they were talking about this. You love this stuff, so I wanted to ask you this. Okay, that S.H.I.E.L.D. Whose S.H.I.E.L.D. was that? Was that the government's? Or was it Steve's? So by virtue of him giving it to Sam, was that Sam's S.H.I.E.L.D. then? Or...
Well, it was clearly in Sam's possession, and possession is 9/10 of the law, as we all learned in kindergarten. I don't know where that phrase comes from, by the way, but it's just one of those... You've heard that before, right? Possession is 9/10 of the law?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's heard it. We all know it. I have no idea what it's from, but it is this idea. And I assume it was this idea that, kind of similar to the Hydra Cap story, where Steve didn't just want to take back the S.H.I.E.L.D., even though Sam was willing to give it back to him.
Yeah.
He was like, no, I got to make sure that this is something that Sam actively does.
Well, he gave it to the Smithsonian, and then Kevin Smith made the example. He's like, well, say the All in the Family couch is in the Smithsonian. If they close down, that couch is going back to Norman Lear.
Yeah, but they haven't closed down the Smithsonian.
Yeah, but he's just saying if the Smithsonian's not there, that couch goes back to Norman Lear. So, so if the
well, no, actually it would go back to the Norman Lear production company.
Yeah, but
for tax purposes.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a drop for you. But no, but that's the thing. It's like, yeah, but they didn't close it down. They put it there, and now here's what it is. It is arguably, because that's where it gets complex, because it is Wakandan, it is vibranium, which we assume is Wakandan. We don't know. This could be vibranium taken from other places on Earth, because vibranium does exist elsewhere. It's just that the biggest deposits of it are in Wakanda and also the Savage.
Well, that's what Kevin Smith was saying. He's like, well, I don't know if Steve ever paid for that shield, but then I don't know if the U.S. government ever paid for that vibranium either, so...
Yeah. Well, let's put it this way. I will wager that Howard Stark paid someone for it.
Oh, yeah.
It got into Howard Stark's hands the way so many things wind up in the hands of rich white people over the years, Oh, look at this thing I have.
It fell off the back of a truck.
Yeah, that's basically the story. And he did with it as he did, and he made the shield with it, and it was a very cool thing. And what's interesting about it is Howard Stark tried to turn Steve away from it, because Howard Stark knew, much like Ultron knew, it's like, you made it into the most powerful metal on your planet, and you made it into a Frisbee. It's like, I don't think Howard Stark really, because it wasn't even on the table of these are the things we have for you. It was off on the side. And why he put it in the lab, I don't know. But it's like, oh, this looks neat. It was just like, if you want to follow the classic dance, they put it into that curved dome shape so they could do all the tensile tests on it. Mm-hmm. That was the idea. But, then why'd they put the straps on it? I don't know. But anyway, long story short, the shield, although as people have also pointed out, that's not actually the shield, because he doesn't actually go back with his own shield. The shield he has there is clearly a shield that's been reforged. So this might be a completely different shield. That's not the shield that he actually had in Endgame.
I mean, unless Tony fixed it, or could they use those stones to fix it? Use the time stone or something?
I mean, he might have been able to do that, yeah. But it actually has certain different notable design marking differences.
Yeah.
I mean, what's entirely possible, because this is actually one of those weird questions about it. Mm-hmm. When the Ancient One says he has to return the stones to their timeline from the moment they were taken away, she doesn't necessarily say it has to go right back in the same place. So actually what they kind of suggest in that is that, you know what? It just has to go back in the universe.
Or, I mean,
and it'll find the stone will go where it wants to go.
Or even it's time travel. You can hold on to them for a couple of days. Even in the time travel, you go back to the exact same moment you took it from anyway. So
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, so like, for example, with the Aether, he doesn't have to shove it back up in Lady Thor. You know, he can actually just say, hey, I got this stuff out of her. It's all contained now.
It just has to be accessible, yeah.
Yeah, so here's the Reality Stone. What do you guys want to do with this? Oh, we should probably go give that to the Collector. Because I can't imagine that ending poorly.
Charlie, you hit it.
What?
So if you don't put that Soul Stone back in the exact same spot, does that free this Red Skull?
Well, exactly what happened to the Red Skull once someone claims the Soul Stone is always an open question.
Exactly.
And, the thing about the Red Skull is that, the Red Skull has been repeatedly cloned. So could we get a Red Skull clone? Yes, absolutely. Could we also get a Arnim Zola clone? Yes. We could get anything, because that's a real possibility. We could get a melon farming Hitler clone in this. Because, when Bucky says, I've killed Hitler, I highly recommend it. It's because, he probably killed Hitler like 2 or 3 times. The guy has been getting cloned a lot. Arnim Zola clones Hitler, clones the Red Skull, clones everybody, never clones himself, which is one of the weirdest things about Arnim Zola, if you ask me.
He's perfected himself above humanity.
I don't think so.
Well,
I don't really think he really has perfected himself very well.
He thinks so. But no, what if the power broker is the Red Skull?
Well, exactly. I mean, it would not be unheard of. And this was something that CBR had posted, which is not a bad idea. But, what the Flag Smashers are doing is something that has been said by Hydra for a very long time. Where, the Red Skull says in First Avenger, the world is no longer borders and flags. This is all nonsense. And again, if you remember, Strucker says a similar thing about Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D., that they are 2 sides of the same worthless currency. The world has moved beyond these things. And what's interesting about that is that Ultimatum, which was the Flag Smashers terrorist organization, was actually funded by who, Philip?
The Red Skull.
The Red Skull, John Smith.
And he was also behind...
as I had mistakenly thought.
And also, I mean, he got Steve Rogers fired in the comics and got... So when that's how they got John Walker in there. Hey, if he's the power broker, he gives John Walker that strength, man. He wants to tarnish that Captain America name.
Well, to be fair, if we see that graybeard senator or whatever the heck he is talking to a guy on a video screen in the shadows with that long cigarette holder, we know what we're dealing with.
Did they ever say what that guy's name was?
No, they haven't yet.
Could he be Del Rusk?
He could be. He could be the power broker. He could be anybody.
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, the idea that he's the power broker is a real possibility. If they want to economize the story, rather than expanding it. But like I said, the real big question for all of this is whether or not they're going to acknowledge Malice and any of the other super soldier projects that have gone before outside of the MCU. Because they'll probably reference Reinhardt, because Reinhardt was in charge of the experiments that created Isaiah Bradley, and they've already referenced Reinhardt in Hulk. Was the Incredible Hulk? Yeah, it was the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
When the Abomination takes it, and that was actually one of the most interesting things here. When they were talking about the super soldier serum, John Walker makes the statement that serum doesn't have a good track record, and suggesting that the serum that Bucky has, and kind of also implying that John Walker is aware of what's been going on in the super soldier program for a while now too. Suggesting that he also knows, that this does not have a good track record. So it's interesting. It is interesting how they're setting it up. We're only 2 episodes in. I know we only have 4 more episodes after that. How do they only give us 6 episodes of this?
Yeah, I was going to say only 4 more episodes, yeah.
I know. It is cruel and unusual punishment, Phil. I'm telling you right now.
Then we'll have to wait for...
Give us these cliffhangers. Make us wait a whole 7 days.
And then we're going to have to wait till June for Loki.
Don't even start. Yeah, we got to wait. We will get Cruella in May, which I am excited about. I am actively excited about the Cruella origin story. We'll see after I watch it if I'm equally excited, but I love what they've done so far. So, come see, come sa. But, yeah, I mean, it's an exciting time to be a Marvel fan, to be sure.
Oh, yeah.
What else came out this week?
Well, I mean, if nothing else, we have comics.
We have comics. Oh, but we also have Invincible, which also ties to my comics, because guess what I picked up, Philip?
Oh, the Invincible tie-in.
Yeah, the Invincible comic, which Also, I've never read the Invincible books, so I actually was expecting to be a lot darker. I don't know. Is this like supposed to be like a, oh man, superheroes are actually evil kind of thing, or is it actually like, no, superheroes are cool?
No, there's good. Like I said, there's good people and bad people. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very different comic book than the series, and it seems like the most of what we get in the comic book probably you get in that first episode of the series, but they also abbreviated a lot in here. So, like the mention of that, Omni-Man or whatever his name is, fighting the dragon in Taiwan, and that's why he's late. Mm-hmm. They actually go to give you a cutscene in between that shows them talking about him fighting the dragon in Taiwan, or Hong Kong. I forget which. Omni-Man, yeah. But, so that's interesting. You do have, and also what's also interesting is you open up with this guy with a bomb on his chest.
Oh, yeah.
And then he, like, throws him before he blows up, which is kind of like, that's a little dark. That's a dark way to open it. So I did think we were going to get some real dark stuff in this, but, yeah. And then we do get the garbage bag thrown into space scene.
Oh, that's funny. They do that, like, at least one or two other times. It's like he'll throw something in the air, and then, like, 6 issues later, it'll come down in another part of the world.
Yeah, I can see that. But, this scene was in the TV show, too.
Yep.
Although it's weird, this is him talking about, like, flying. I like getting in the TV show way more backstory on who Omni-Man is, where he's from.
I'm trying to remember. I think he gets into it, but I think it might be later on in the comic series as opposed to the TV show.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about, because I've never read these comics before. Mm-hmm. So the TV show, they're giving you an info. I guess they're assuming maybe I've read an Invincible comic before. I didn't just pick up the Invincible comic because of the tie-in, but they were mistaken. So it's interesting to see the differences, and that's J. Jonah Jameson doing the voice of Omni-Man.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons. Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't finished watching the first episode yet, but do we have the Taylor guy in the first episode? Yes, I'm sure that's going to be... I can't wait to see how they voice him. Although I do like the orange and yellow suit here.
That's in the episode too, yeah.
Yeah, where everyone was like, I thought his powers were sun-based. It's like, no, that's a common misconception. And then we get this scene with him thwarting a robbery where he says, I'm invincible. Which is cool. It's a fun name. And, of course, in the TV show, you get their Justice League, the Guardians of the Globe.
Yep.
Who are cool. Got a Flash pastiche, a Martian Manhunter pastiche, a Wonder Woman pastiche. No, Batman. Pointing to Batman. I'm pretty sure one of these people is a Martian Manhunter or a Vision or something. But anyway, they're all very cool. I enjoyed the comic. I liked what I've seen so far of the TV series, too. I like what Amazon Prime does with their productions. I think they have a really strong sense of what they want, of the stories they want to tell. Anyway, is there a book you'd like to talk about, Phil?
Let's see. Like I said, I got a ton of books this week because half my books didn't come in last week. So, we talked Thor last week.
Did you talk Iron Man?
Yeah, we talked Iron Man last. Yeah,
okay.
About that.
I did read Black Panther 24.
Oh, did you? Okay, yes.
Yes, I did. I also read Miles Morales and Amazing Spider-Man this week.
And did you read Maestro also?
Oh, of course I read Maestro.
Yeah, so, okay. Let's talk
Maestro's on my pull list. Oh, Maestro. And this was brilliant how they did that, where it was in the dreamscape all along. Just, letting him think he was winning, because that's how you defeat him.
Nice. And he saw his mother.
Yeah. And they shot him, and now we're going to see the whole Immortal Hulk angle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I wonder if that's how I wonder if he's going to tie in Immortal Hulk. Yeah, it's be like, yeah, I'll die. I'll come back.
Well, and it seems they know that, so they're like, yeah. So we've got to make sure he stays dead this time. So no, it was a brilliant book. It was just without a doubt a brilliant book. The whole facing off against the Pantheon, and one of Loki's sons is like the father of the Pantheon, right? What's he up to? We don't see him in this. I guess maybe they rejected him when they found out he was just a teenager, but...
Oh, Agamemnon or whatever?
Yeah, the original Agamemnon. Yeah, but he has like a Norse name too, I thought. But, because it was the idea that he was Loki's child, and then Loki cursed him to always be an adolescent.
Did you get the Easter egg in this when they're like, oh, I'll pull up file TIH 312?
No, what is that? Oh,
I believe
Hulk 312.
I think that's where they show like the whole thing of his mother getting killed, because that was what they showed on the screen as his when his father killed his mother.
Yeah, very misleading cover. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it's quite the opposite.
Exactly. Yeah. But I liked it. I mean, it's that's the thing. It's like I think the Hulk is really getting to be one of Marvel's best comics. Mm-hmm. Just working with this character on that psychological level. It's just a great character to explore. Kind of what we said, like with the Marvel movies, which is like, oh yeah, let's explore grief, let's explore anger, let's explore rage, let's explore these emotions, because you know what, everyone has emotions.
Yep.
That is like my biggest thing with again, to rip on Snyder here. I wanted more characterization, not more characters. And granted, we still got more characterization, but we also still got more characters. That it's like, if you didn't have these extra characters just so that you could wipe your Snyder on them, maybe you might have had a better film by just telling the story you wanted to tell and not sort of tagging all the Easter eggs you wanted. Mm-hmm. We don't need 6 other reveals. We just need to know who the characters are and what they're doing. But
again, if you're going to name drop or you're going to put Easter eggs and stuff, make it mean something instead of just, oh, look at this cool thing that's never going to be brought up again. Or
well, I mean, we'll never be brought up again. I
know, but
did you read Taskmaster this week?
No, I did not get a chance yet.
Okay. It's really good. You actually because you get the denouement of this, and you realize that. Want me to spoil it for you?
Yes, please.
As it turns out, it was Maria Hill all along.
Oh.
Yeah, she was never dead. Because she's like, you're going to ask me why I'm not dead when everyone thinks I'm dead. Hey, is this your first day, Nick Fury Jr.? But it is cool because they actually bring up the whole backstory of, what's his name, Marcus something. And how Taskmaster was the first supervillain he fought. And I'm the one that made you. Because it really is all about, again, to get into that deep psychological stuff, it is all about the Taskmaster realizing how everyone else is being manipulated. How everyone else is trying to make us do something and who profits from this. Both the Widow and Maria Hill are all being manipulated, and it turns out it is being manipulated by Maria Hill. Sorry, Black Widow is being manipulated by Maria Hill, because what it is like, I guess when Osborn was running Hammer, he created a Got Ya Last protocol that was, if ever he is in danger, he was just going to kill everybody on the planet, which is what the Rubicon protocol was.
Yeah, it's all important.
It's a bunch of death satellites that'll just kill everyone on the planet if he's ever threatened. But, fortunately he got taken out before he could ever actually utilize it, but they still had to access it. And the reality was that Maria Hill knew we can't just leave a death satellite in orbit. we can't leave this in orbit, but we have to unlock it. The best we could do was figure out a way to unlock it. And they said, so how is the only way we can get it to unlock? Well, we need all these people to work together, and none of them are talking. Well, there is a guy who could actually be able to mimic their kinesthetic signatures. So he could open it. And then, of course, what happens is he just decides to initiate the Rubicon Protocol because he knows the super spies will deactivate it after he leaves, but it gives him his time to run out. Because he had to remind them, I'm still the Taskmaster, you know? I'm still a villain. And it reads so well. It reads in such a great analysis of the psychology of superheroes and superhero comic book storytelling. You know, and what I'll say is it never once makes you think it's making fun of it. It's just someone acknowledging that, oh man, we get manipulated a lot. This is what we do. We manipulate people, and this is like the best way to manipulate them: kill their girlfriend. You know. I read Black Panther 24. This is my first Black Panther I've picked up in a while.
Yeah, me too.
So, but I loved it just because you get the whole... Basically, you just get a total on your left of every... You get the two Patriots fighting together. Mm-hmm. No backstory as to how they got brought together, but I'm assuming they got brought together. Basically, Ta-Nehisi Coates said, I want every black superhero in the Marvel Universe coming together. We even get, like, Thunderball in here.
Oh yeah, I know he was kind of working with him for a while. Yeah,
yeah. You know, we just get everybody in here. We get our on your left portals. You know,
Ironheart, Luke Cage, Misty Knight, Storm.
Ironheart, Luke Cage, yeah, etc. It's pretty cool, but we see that. I think these are the old gods of Wakanda coming forward. I think that's what the last portal is supposed to be.
Yeah, because they were doing something with the gods. I know, like a while ago. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, because I think Black Panther was like kind of on a hiatus, you know, after COVID. So
yeah, and then we get the little Bobby Sessions short in the back.
Yes,
about you got to listen to kids, and these kids, it's kind of a maudlin story, and it's kind of a right on your nose, just smack on your nose. You don't listen to the kids who are having troubles, but I enjoyed it, and it struck me as nice considering the idea of Chadwick Boseman visiting kids in the hospital, and that sort of Make-A-Wish kind of concept that so many people in Marvel are a part of nowadays, and it was nice. It was. I mean, it had the depth of a Hostess cupcake ad, but it also had the meaningfulness of one too.
I mean, yeah, it's only a couple pages. It wasn't like a...
Yeah, exactly. I don't take that... I love the Hostess ads, quite frankly. So I don't take away from that. But, as a little kid, you really wanted those Hostess snack cakes after that. It's a few pages, but it tells a lot in that. And it tells a nice, important message. And it's sweet and makes you feel like, oh, yeah, we should... In the same way that, I should go get myself a Hostess cake, I'm now saying, I should listen to children. I should, make sure that they feel the life and, not feel like they're ignored and worthless. So, that was neat. Do you want to talk Savage Avengers?
Oh, yeah, we got that too. Yeah.
Oh, Savage Avengers. Conan in Pants is my favorite Conan. I've got to write them and say, thank you for putting Conan in pants. I know why you don't, but, he's got shoes and everything. By the end of this, now that he's taken over the castle, and he is still so much his own self, and man, I love his conversation with Iceman in this, too.
Oh, yeah, telling him, he's like, you have frost giant blood in your veins, you could be more than this.
And you know what's funny about that? Is he's not wrong, necessarily. Because there was, here's what it is. There is a character named Jack Frost who was a tiny frost giant who came to Earth and was a World War II hero. And who's to say if the Drake family doesn't have that lineage in them? And that combined with his own mutant DNA, that's what he became. But, like I said, in everything about this, it is just, again, Conan bringing out the best in everybody, even as he's being a jerk about it, you know? Mm-hmm. And that is beautiful in the way that they write Conan in this series, you know? That he is the Captain America of the Hyborian Age.
And even him showing respect to Wolverine, because he's like, yeah, I want to see Wolverine. And at the end, he's like, yeah, the Hellfire Club, I'm going to take it. This is mine now.
Yeah, just tell your friends, this is my castle now. And he's like, you know what? Cool. You know what? But, you know, they've already established that Iceman is a bit of a BA. Mm-hmm. You know? And I also loved this idea that Iceman said that he used to make himself look like a snowman because he wanted to be less threatening. It was a neat little retcon in his psychology.
Yes.
To explain so much. And that, like I said, that is what is great about these stories is, you know, people who like comic books and comic book characters and superheroes, they think that backwards. They think, well, why did he look like a snowman? Oh, he looked like a snowman. Now, the obvious reason why he looked like a snowman is because that was like the first thing they thought. It was like, well, you know, if he's going to have this ice form, you know, maybe he's going to just have the ice form around him. And that's how he's going to be the Iceman. You know, and then they make it into the hard ice form because it looks cooler. But then you have to, like, square that circle.
Did you see the cover for next issue?
Yeah, we get a Spider-Man.
Well, I'm wondering because you see reflected in his one eye is the Rhino. So I was like, does Conan get in the middle of a Spider-Man Rhino fight, or is he going to meet Spider-Man and the Thunderbolts?
Well, it might be Spider-Man and the Thunderbolts. You know.
Well, the next issue blurb it says bring on the bad guys.
Yeah.
So maybe it's
hey, Conan would be a great Thunderbolt.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's the thing. Conan is the kind of guy who absolutely would say, "Yeah, I'll be a Thunderbolt. That sounds fun."
Why,
you know?
Why are you dragging the corpse of that dead warrior with you?
Trust me, he has meaning. You know, he's useful. Trust us.
Why are you dragging around that warrior dressed like the sun?
Yeah, well, you know what? It's gonna be cool because he's gonna do something cool. Trust us. Any minute now, he's gonna wake up and he's gonna go like, "Aren't I Superman?"
Oh my God! I went to Thunderbolts and Conan now because I mean, you thought Conan and Deadpool was good. Conan and Batroc.
Oh, they're gonna be best friends forever. Because they're going to be two, like, thieves. It's just like, yeah, oh, I totally get you, man. You know, you got to fight to your death. And, yeah, oh, yeah, you work with those guys? Yeah, I work with those kind of guys, too. Yeah.
They have so much in common. Drinking, sleeping around. Come on.
Yeah, man. You know, it's like, I'm sure he's going to be like, oh, man, no, I tell you, Conan, you need the garment that breathes, that gives you that stretching, you know? You need the spandex, my friend. Let the ladies see what you got.
Ah.
I'm sure Conan will be like, you know. I don't even know if Conan can grow facial hair. That's an interesting question about Conan, because he's very clean-shaven.
Yeah, because why would he shave?
Well, exactly. Why would he shave? So it's just that weird question. Like, does Conan grow facial hair? He could be like, you know, and for what it's worth, Conan is an antediluvian, meaning that he is from before the times of the flood. I believe he is. And you can read that. That's a good book. Tristan's reading my Savage Avengers now. Because there are parts of the world, there are people that don't grow a lot of facial hair. And, you know, from where Conan's supposedly from, you know, those are people that do grow facial hair, but it seems logical that the genetic mutation that doesn't have facial hair growth might have followed Conan, might have come into existence with Conan and then moved elsewhere in the world, moved further east where, you know, for whatever reason, facial hair wasn't as big of a deal. So like when you get to Native Americans almost never had facial hair. So he could actually clearly be part of that group. I really want Conan to meet Red Wolf. That's like my dream. Because they are so similar of characters. Again, that whole, yes, we are perfectly, you know, it's sort of like when when T'Challa and Reed Richards meet, we're like, yes, it's nice to meet someone that I can speak with on an intellectual level. And it's just like, yes, it's nice to meet someone I can speak with on a, superhero level. And again, that's the same thing with Batroc and Conan. They're going to be totally together and in sync. And like, yeah, I totally get where you're coming from. So that'll be fun. I got to talk Bitterroot, number 11.
Okay.
They're back from hiatus, as so many books have been. And it's really opening up what this universal structure is. Essentially, we have these two worlds, the Bazakar, I believe is what we're calling it, and then the real world. But the demons are just flooding in now. And you have all of these, what are they called? The Idzindu, which are basically the manifestation of demonic energy from your own grief and pain, because you have the manifestation of demonic energy that comes from your hatred and anger, and then this is your grief and pain, and so many people are now having like these demonic characteristics, but they're all also taking this serum that helps keep their demonic natures in check. It is such a complex mythology, and it is really interesting. And the family dynamics between all the different branches of the Singyars is really fascinating. And then they do a very nice bit for the little white guy, their friend white guy that was their little redneck that was with them, who died, sacrificed himself, saving. What's his name here? I'm missing his name. But he was the guy who he was the guy who was always like, no, you have to amputate the monsters, you can't heal them. And he's traveling with his cousin Cullen, but then you realize that like the evil has infected a tree. So, I mean, it is such a good book. I can't really do it justice right now, but I highly recommend pick up Bitterroot number 11. It is just such a good book. Oh, okay. I don't know, because we talked Thor, we talked Iron Man last week.
Well, we can cut it there.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you wanted to talk Spider-Man or Miles Morales, but they're both good. I enjoyed them. I don't have a lot to say about either.
Okay, yeah, that's fine, because Wilson and I are going to do some Spider-Man. We can even talk to him there. There.
There we go. So go find that show with Phil and Lilith. They talk Spider-Man all the time. You people wanting all your Spider-Man content. Oh, Philip, I know. It's hard to cover all of the stuff, especially when we have a show where we're just going to talk that Snyder Cut for like God knows how many hours. Hopefully less than the actual length of the time of the Snyder Cut.
Well, yes,
but, if they do want to listen to that, I certainly hope they're going to have high-quality headphones to listen on.
Exactly.
And the best way to do that is to go to tweakedaudio.com, use the coupon code Southgate upon checkout, and get high-quality headphones delivered to you that are a fraction of what you would pay without that coupon code. So go do that. Enjoy that. Listen to these podcasts in crystal clear audio, which doesn't make a lot of sense because crystal is something you look through. So listening to it in crystal clear audio doesn't really jive. It'll be like good audio. And then when you're done with that, go over to hunterkiller.com, use that same coupon code Southgate at checkout, get a discount on what they're offering, which is essentially an escape room delivered to your house. Get all these clues and puzzles that are related to a story about Michelle Gray solving a cold case. It's a lot of fun. You should try it. Enjoy it. And likewise, after you do that, or even if you don't do that, go down to our show notes, click on the Amazon link, go to Amazon.com. Literally anything else you want is right there. And while you're there, check out Podlife, the book written by the Southgate Media Group family that talks about podcasting, why we do it, how we do it, and how it saved people's lives. You can get that in either a hard copy for after the apocalypse or a digital copy for this pre-apocalyptic world we live in. And anyway, if anyone does any of that, Philip, how can they reach out to you and tell you about their exciting experiences?
I can always get a hold of any of us at capesandlunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And find everything we do, find all our social media, links to YouTube channel, Patreon, merchandise, everything at Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics.
And, of course, you can always write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way Maz and Paz once did, at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. Of course, follow me on Twitter as I live tweet things when I feel like it, or I remember to, or it's something that's really important to me, which so far nothing is, because DuckTales A Woohoo is no longer on the air. At Charlie Esser, that's CHARLIE. Yes, SCR. Look for the two E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz. And thank you, Tristan. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us here on Superconnectivity. Why don't y'all come back again next week and super connect with us once again. Good night.
Good night.
Good night and moon night.
Oh.
I don't know. People like Moon Knight.
Oh, yeah. He's coming too to Disney Plus. Told you.
Yes, he is. That's
Secret
what they keep on telling us.
Secret Avengers.
We will see what we get. I'm waiting for my Dark Avengers, man.
Ooh.
We got a bullseye. That's all I'm saying.
Like a Thunderbolts.